All right.
I don't know what that said, but I like it.
Game time.
Oh, what?
All right.
I love
All right,
games
you
and I
guys
love
ready?
trivia.
All right. Now I'm going to tell you that there's 4, but I fully expect neither one of you to get the first one. Okay?
Yep.
So therefore, we're going to call it best out of 3. But hey, if either one of you get the first one, you win. Game over. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Yell it out when you know the answer. This is a list of 10 fighters. It's the category is boxers at the end of 2018. And you have to tell me what the list represents. Are you ready for the first one?
Okay.
Okay.
Call it out when you got it. Manuel Char, Fedor Shemanov, Dmitry Bivol. Your first hint is number 9.
Vacant.
No longer champions. Or who were the champions
That's half of it.
at the end of 2019? 2018.
The end
What
of
did you say?
boxers, 2018. You're halfway there.
That's got to be. Is it one of the alphabets?
Hey, look at Jace.
Top 10 WBO.
One letter off.
WBA.
WBC.
Okay. So WBA, it was a tie, but this is heavyweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight cruiser, light heavy, and so on down the line. These are your WBA champions at the end of 2018. All right.
Wow.
Top 10
Wow.
WBA champions at the end of 2018. Now we're filling in the blank at the top. You guys ready for the second one?
Yep. WBO. Top 10 WBO.
Top 10. It's boxing at the end of 2018. Loma, Crawford, Canelo, Usyk, Triple G.
Spence is low.
At the end of 2018, these were the top 10.
Pound for pound?
Pound for pound, Joe. 1-0, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, this would have been
1-0,
my
Joe.
top 10 list. Yeah, for sure.
This is top 10 pound for pound. Okay, we've got one more or 2 more here. You guys ready for the third one?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor.
Oh,
Yell
that's
it out.
money. Who made the most?
Yeah.
Top earners. Jace makes it 1-1. Top earners boxing 2018. Mayweather, McGregor, Pacquiao, Broner, Cotto, Fury, Joshua, Triple G, Kovalev, Gonzalez, Chocolatito. All right, one more question. You guys ready?
Yep.
It's 1-1. What's the point?
None of those guys are on the list. Is exactly
Thank
the
you.
point. These
29
guys,
names. And here comes the flurry. 29 names out of 30. You'll find Golovkin right in the middle for pound, and 8th on the top 10 earners. Now, you tell me in a sport where we're trying to find the greatest fighter, how somebody like the WBA sanctioning body could call themselves reputable and come up with 10 names who we don't find anywhere on the money earning list or the pound for pound list. This is an argument for scrub scraps again, to drag that into it all over again. If we're talking about dollars, then let's fight for dollars. If we're talking about the best fighter in the world, let's fight for that. But if you are inherently separating the two to where a reputable sanctioning body has none of the best guys on its list and none of the best guys are making the most money in the game, what the hell are we doing here?
yeah, that's crazy.
What's the point?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, what are we doing here? Which one of you guys got that? I'm sorry, somebody won.
It was me.
Joe won, yeah.
2-1.
It
Congratulations.
was close though, Jace. Feel good about yourself.
But but it infuriates me that you have 10 guys you don't recognize on WBA's champion list. And then the pound for pound list, you have guys we know that the general public's never heard of. And then on that money earners list, you have guys that your average fight fan that doesn't really care, that isn't much of an aficionado, goes, oh yeah, Mayweather, McGregor, Pacquiao, those are the top three right now. They're not. Those are the top three earners. Those are the top three names. They can't necessarily fight. And if we're basing boxing around that, we should at least be honest about it. That those 29 out of 30 names, that's totally dishonest from every perspective when it comes to the sport of boxing.
Yeah, that hurts boxing in such a big way. I don't think I'll ever understand that. And I really, honestly, before you highlighted it, I never really thought about it, and I never gave it much thought beyond there's way too many alphabets here. There's just way too many. I laugh about it, but I guess I had never really thought about it and put it into the context that you just put it in. And you're exactly right. What's the point?
Yeah, you're desensitizing us. You're taking all of the value out of our dollars and your belts. You're devaluing all of it. And you've got guys, the problem I have with it is not the Dimitri Bivens, the Canelo Alvarez's. It's little 12-year-old Joshua. Damn, that thinks he can fight his way to the top. That thinks there's something here for him, that if I fight well and I fight and I work hard. And that's true in boxing, unlike any other sport. Boxing is made up of athletes and fighters, and the vast majority of us are not athletes. That's a John Scully quote. We are fighters and not athletes. So you work hard, you learn the skill, you get these things down, and you figure it out, and you become that thing. You become a great fighter. But you're selling something to those kids. And a lot of the people that show up to these fights, they bring kids with them. There's that whenever I call the voice of Dunkin' Donuts Park, whenever I call that introduction, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I think about that little kid standing out there with grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle. Somebody brought them to a baseball game. It's their first game, and they still have all that passion and joy and wonder in them. And I want to announce it so that like I feel that. Like I'm still there, like I'm that little kid. I want that little kid to hear, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, and know that the show is about to start. The magic in the air, I want them to feel that. And you're lying to those little kids that are riding their bikes to the gym, thinking if they just work hard, there's a spot for them because McGregor has a big mouth. You're going to rob them. It's disgusting. I can't stand what happened to our sport. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that same top 10, if Mike Tyson is on the top earners top 10 at the end of this year for his one fight with Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones, Logan Paul, and Nate Robinson will be up there. Yeah,
don't even.
It's disgusting.
Forgot about that.
Stop. Yeah, I mean, to continue to make a mockery of a sport that desperately needs to find its credibility again. You know what I mean? That needs to go back to a time where the sport was relevant. Most people don't know Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. I mean, most casual sports fans I know, as I've been talking about some of these fights with, they're just not following boxing at all. Like I said, to the point where, like, even if you're not a boxing fan, you should know who the heavyweight champion of the world is. In my lifetime, that was pretty standard operating. You knew who the champ was. You had to. Mm-hmm. People don't. And there's a reason for that. And I think boxing needs to take a look in the mirror if they want to save the industry and restore credibility and maybe get back to the heyday. That Muhammad Ali ushered in, through the 70s and into the 80s. It would be great, but...
And you know what the option is? The option is that the Olympics turn into the only reputable source that we have to find out who the best fighters in the world are, because professionals are going there, and all the rest of it is just WWE entertainment style BS. That's where we're headed, is to where if you want to know you're the best fighter in the world, you're going to have an Olympic medal, because having one of the 9 belts in your weight class doesn't mean a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah. And we've seen over the past, slowly but surely, UFC is eclipsing boxing because of stuff like this. More people are tuning into UFC. More people know the heavyweight champ in the UFC than they do in boxing. And it's a shame because I do think both deserve their spotlight. Like, it sucks that one is losing out over the other.
Well, and there's arguably more storyline and more drama and more better competition at the top of boxing than the top of MMA at the heavyweight division, unless this is a really intriguing storyline with these 3 guys that you're right, the average fan is missing. It's Logan Paul and Conor McGregor. Floyd Mayweather, who wouldn't make my top 50 if you made me write a list right now.
Yeah.
He might be in my top 50. That's a little rough, but I feel what you're saying there.
Yeah, okay.
Like 48. I get it.
Yeah, when he slides in at 37, the average fight fan's going to go, what are you doing with Floyd all the way down? That's where he belongs, dude.
He's undefeated, 50-0.
He makes great adjustments, but do you know what one style Lopez would do to Mayweather right now? Give me that one style of Lopez versus over Mayweather right now. I'd take that. I think he beats Mayweather. That's a good fight. But he can't touch Loma right now. Don't come down to 140 and try to fight Loma, because there'll be Floyd fanboys out there that think he can win that fight, and he can't. That's not a winnable fight for him.
No.